What is the Asian unicorn? Who was Ho Chi Minh? And why is there a train hurtling through a street? There's only one way to find out, adventurers, so subscribe, give us a like, and welcome to our Kids Guide to Vietnam. From hilltop villages in the north to the mouth of the great Mekong Delta in the south, Vietnam is full of jaw-dropping beauty and wonderfully friendly locals. It's also a foodie's dream, so I hope you brought your chopsticks. So where is Vietnam? Vietnam is located in Southeast Asia. It is a long, narrow country, bordered by China in the north, Laos and Cambodia in the west, and the South China Sea in the east. Did you know Vietnam was made into two separate countries in 1954? This led to a great war and final unification in 1975 by the famous Ho Chi Minh. More on him later. Vietnam has a population of over 97.5 million people, and the national language is Vietnamese. To say hello, you say Xin Chào. The capital city is Hanoi, and when you're visiting, you'll be spending the Vietnamese dong. Now the nation's flag is red with a single yellow star in the middle. The red symbolises the blood of the Vietnamese people and the Revolutionary War, whilst the 5 points on the star represent the different types or classes of people in Vietnam: intellectuals, farmers, workers, traders, and soldiers. Now, before we move on, don't forget to head over to our fantastic website where you can download lots of activity packs on all our geography subjects. Anyway, back to the adventure. Who lives in Vietnam? The people of Vietnam are called Vietnamese, and it's all about family first. Many family generations live under the same roof. This could include everyone from newborn babies to grandparents, and even great-grandparents. Much of Vietnam practices the Buddhist religion, which can be seen in all its glory through the thousands of magnificent pagodas all over the country. These pagodas are important religious sites used for worship. Older generations fought hard for the success of Vietnam today. The most recent war in the 1970s gave Vietnam true independence. In turn, has given the nation a great pride and strong national identity. An identity shaped by one man most dear to Vietnamese hearts, Ho Chi Minh, or more affectionately known as Uncle Ho. Hi adventurers, we're just in the capital Hanoi, trying to cross the road, which could be a dangerous and chaotic affair. Hundreds, actually thousands of mopeds rush along its narrow streets every day. In the crowded old quarter, there seems to be no rules. I've just learnt to hold my breath and step out, hoping that everyone stops or gets out of my way. As well as mopeds, there are hundreds of bicycles, and the Vietnamese don't ride lightly. They seem to balance all their worldly belongings on two wheels. Not sure I'll be trying this at home. Head to Phuong Hong Street and you could be met with a train getting in your way. That's right, a train! It passes right through the street, leaving people hurrying into cafes and houses as it charges past. Stay safe, adventurers. Whew, made it across the road. While I catch my breath, let's learn more about Ho Chi Minh. Vietnam's hero, Ho Chi Minh, or Uncle Ho, fought to bring Vietnam together as one, giving it true independence. At the time, it was France that controlled Vietnam, and Ho saw many bad things happening to his people. This sparked a fire inside Ho Chi Minh, and from this point, his life centred around making life better for his fellow Vietnamese. He was determined to make Vietnam independent. After many conflicts, Ho's party, the Viet Minh, managed to take control of North Vietnam from the French. But he then faced his biggest challenge yet, to unify the South and North, and this sadly meant war. In 1961, Americans joined the war against the North, which led to their defeat in 1973. But it wasn't until 1975 that Vietnam gained true independence. Sadly, Ho Chi Minh died in 1969 at the age of 79. He was just 6 years away from seeing an independent Vietnam. His memory, however, lives on in the hearts of all Vietnamese people. The southern city of Saigon was renamed Ho Chi Minh City, and his mausoleum, where he is embalmed, stands as a testament to a great man who fought passionately for the freedom of his people. What an inspiring person, and what a legacy he's left behind. Let's take a look at my top 5 things to do in Vietnam. Take a cruise through Halong Bay, meandering through its maze of over 2,000 towering islands and rock formations, filled with hidden caves, grottos, and floating villages. Sapa. Take a hike through the majestic, sprawling rice terraces of Sapa and wonder at the views and colourful native dress of the Hmong and Dizao people. The ancient port town of Hoi An, filled with faded yellow houses, spectacular pagodas, and such amazing food that you won't want to leave. The Mekong River Delta. Experience the mighty Mekong River as it meanders and filters out to the sea. Its pathways are said to be the 9 dragons, but boating along is anything but ferocious. Last but not least, Muson, the spiritual capital of the ancient Sham people. These temples house the best preserved architecture in Vietnam. Just imagine how they would have looked covered in gold leaf. Beans, I'm still curious about your Asian unicorn. What could it be? I'll have a think whilst we eat. Let's see what Vietnam has to offer. Food in Vietnam is one of its major highlights. When travelling around the country, we love to visit street food cafes to sample dishes such as pho, a traditional noodle soup. Most stallholders give you a mixture of salad, vegetables and meat to add into the broth yourself, which is always good fun. Pho is as close to a national dish as it comes, and our personal favourite. Other items on the menu include wontons and spring rolls, both small parcels in different shapes, stuffed with vegetables or meat. Everything is freshly made, and most street food stalls specialise in just one dish, so you know it's going to be delicious. Now Beans, you've got some extra special animals for us this time, haven't you? Vietnam is home to some of the rarest and sadly most endangered animals in the world. So let's introduce your top 5 animals to find in Vietnam. The pangolin, the only mammal to have scales. They cover its body and tail and are used to protect itself from predators. They also have to protect their nose, ears and eyes from the ants they eat, so they can actually close them all up and use their tongue, which can be over 20 centimetres in length, to slurp up the tasty snacks. The slow loris. By far the cutest animal on our list, the slow loris is nocturnal and uses its big eyes to help it see at night. It also has 2 tongues, one for collecting nectar and one they use as a toothbrush. However, despite its cute appearance, it has a deadly venom that comes from its armpits, of all places. The dugong. Nicknamed the sea cow, this grazing mammal weighs up to 800 pounds and can be found off the Phu Quoc Islands, munching on up to 30 kilograms of seagrass every day. They are related to the manatee, but have fluked tails instead of paddles. The water buffalo, a vital part of rural life. The water buffalo is integral to farmers up and down the country. It's strong, brave and reliable, so it's no wonder it's the national animal of Vietnam. Now we head to the very critically endangered animal, the saola, or the Asian unicorn. Found in central Vietnam on the border with Laos, they were only discovered in 1992 and remain the newest large mammal to be known to science. There's only been 4 sightings since then. Their nickname, the Asian unicorn, comes from their recognisable curving horns, despite there actually being 2 of them. Wow, amazing to learn more about the saola. I do hope they grow in population. They're magnificent animals. Well, we've had quite the adventure in Vietnam, haven't we? The delicious food we tasted at the street stalls, to boating on the Mekong River and Halong Bay. I'm still not sure whether I prefer the hustle and bustle of Hanoi or the calm tranquility of Hoi An. Perhaps we'll have to return one day and decide for sure. Well, sadly that's all we've got time for today, but if you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up below. Don't forget to head over to our fantastic website where you can download lots of activity packs on all our geography subjects. We'll see you next time for another worldly adventure. Psst, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. G'day adventurers and welcome to our Kids Guide to Australia. Australia is located in the southern hemisphere. It's the world's largest island and is surrounded by the Indian, Southern and Pacific Oceans. It has a population of over 24 million people and the main language is English. The capital city is Canberra, and when you're visiting, you'll be spending the Australian dollar. Australia has a fascinating history. Its indigenous people are called the Aboriginals, and their culture dates back over 50,000 years. Their unique traditions include dot painting, playing the didgeridoo, and throwing the iconic hunting boomerang. As well as amazing people, Australia has some unique wildlife. Animals such as the koala, platypus, and kangaroo are found nowhere else. Let's take a look at my top 5 things to do in Australia. Firstly, there's the Great Barrier Reef, the world's largest coral reef, where you can swim with over 1,500 species of fish. Fancy a drier activity? Then head to Uluru in Australia's Red Centre, a huge rock in the middle of the desert sacred to the Aboriginal people. Australia has lots of amazing cities, and none more iconic than Sydney, with its harbour bridge and beautiful opera house. Head north where you can traverse the Great Kakadu National Park, viewing its humongous termite mounds. Still looking for more? Then how about a walk through the eerie Martian-like landscape of the Bungle Bungles on Australia's west coast? Wow, Australia is jam-packed full of amazing people, animals and natural beauty. Sadly, that's all we've got time for today, but don't forget to head over to our fantastic website to discover more about the world. Also, check out our shop to buy yourself a map and journal for your next adventure. We'll see you next time for another worldly adventure. How do you live somewhere covered in 80% ice? Who invented the kayak and who are the Inuit? There's only one way to find out, adventurers, so subscribe, give us a like, and welcome to our Kids Guide to Greenland. From towering icebergs to colourfully painted houses, dogs sledding across the ice to encounters with polar bears, Greenland is a very unique place to explore. So let's grab our woolly hats, gloves, and about 3 jumpers and set foot onto this incredible island. This is part of our journey to every country in the world, so don't forget to check out our channel to see where we've been so far. Anyway, so where is Greenland? Greenland is located in the Arctic, between the North Atlantic and Arctic Oceans. It's the world's largest island that isn't a continent. Even though it's geographically part of the North American continent, Greenland is politically associated with Europe, as it's a territory of Denmark. We'll learn a bit more about that later. Greenland has a population of around 57,000 people, making it one of the least densely populated places in the world. Most of the population lives along the coast, as the interior is covered by a massive ice sheet. The official language is Greenlandic, but Danish and English are widely spoken too. To say hello in Greenlandic, you say hallo. The capital city of Greenland is Nuuk, and the currency here is the Danish kroner. Let's take a look at the Greenland flag. It's pretty striking, and there's some deep meaning behind it. The red and white colours represent the hundreds of years long relationship with Denmark, with the circle representing the warming sun reflecting in the vastness of the ocean. The white colours represent the icebergs and great sheets of ice covering the land. Now, before we move on, don't forget to head over to our fantastic website where you can download lots of activity packs on all our geography subjects. Anyway, back to the adventure. Now, let's talk more about that ice sheet. Over 80% of Greenland is covered in ice, and this giant ice sheet is one of the most important in the world because it affects global weather patterns and sea levels. Some of the glaciers here are as tall as skyscrapers, and when they break off, they create enormous icebergs. Just look at the size of that one. If all the ice were to melt here, then the world's oceans would rise up to 6 metres, which is why we all need to do our bit to combat climate change. Now you might be wondering how people ended up living on and around this massive load of ice. So let's leave geography for a bit and dive into the history and people of Greenland. The first people arrived in Greenland over 4,000 years ago. These were the Inuit, ancestors of the people who still live here today. The Inuits who live in Greenland today are split into 3 main groups: the Kalaallit in the west, the Tunumit in the east, and the Inuit in the north. Much like today, the Inuit people relied on hunting and fishing for their traditional way of life. They were incredible hunters, surviving the cold Arctic seasons by hunting animals like seals, whales and muskox. The Inuit are known for their resilience and their unique traditions, including one very famous activity, kayaking, which was invented by the Inuit to hunt on the water. They also built igloos made from cut blocks of ice to sleep in and and keep out of those icy winds. In the year 982, a famous Icelandic Viking named Eric the Red came to Greenland. He called it Greenland to make it sound so nice more people would settle there, even though it was covered in ice. These hoodwinked early Viking settlers built farms and small villages along the coast, in many places that are still populated today. So just how did Denmark come to own Greenland? Well, in 1721, a Danish man called Hans Ageda sailed to the south of Greenland to find out what happened to those living there, those descendants of Eric the Red. He sadly found nothing, and over the next 15 to 20 years he re-established a settlement there, trading to Denmark. Around 100 years later, in 1814, Greenland officially became part of Denmark due to the success of the settlement. For a long time, Greenland was ruled entirely by Denmark, but the Inuit people who still lived in the north fought hard to keep their culture and traditions alive. In 1979, Greenlanders got something called home rule, which means they could start making decisions about their own affairs, like schools and healthcare. In 2009, they took another big step and gained self-government, giving them even more control about how they run their country. Even though Greenland is self-governed, it's still part of the Kingdom of Denmark. Denmark helps Greenland with defence, foreign affairs and financial support. Today, Greenlanders are proud of their unique culture and history, blending ancient Inuit traditions with modern influences. They continue to write their story while protecting their incredible environment and traditions. A pretty fascinating story, and one that's continuing to unfold today. Yes, Beans, that's a very good point. Who else lives on this icy isle? Let's take a look at your top 5 animals to find in Greenland. The polar bear. These majestic creatures roam the icy northern regions of Greenland, hunting seals on the sea ice. Polar bears are perfectly adapted to the cold, with their thick white fur, which blends into the snowy landscape, and a layer of fat that keeps them warm. Muskox. The musk oxen have been around since the Ice Age. It looks the part with its long shaggy hair and curved horns. They have a special underlayer of wool called kivit, which is one of the warmest natural fibres in the world. It helps keep them cosy, even when the temperatures drop to -40 Fahrenheit. The Arctic fox. The Arctic fox has thick fur that changes colour with the seasons, white in winter to blend in with the snow, and brown in summer to match the tundra. Arctic foxes are expert scavengers, often following polar bears to feed on leftover scraps. The narwhal. Known as the unicorn of the sea, narwhals are one of Greenland's most fascinating marine animals. Their long spiral tusk is actually an overgrown tooth that can grow up to 10 feet long. It's thought they use their tusks to sense their environment and impress their mates. The walrus. The walrus is a huge Arctic marine mammal, known for its long tusks and whiskered face. Weighing over 1,500 kilograms, it uses its tusks to pull itself onto ice and defend against predators. But despite their bulky size, they're great swimmers. Wow, after all those cool customers, let's check out what there is to do for us humans in the great frozen land of Greenland. Here's my top 5 things to do in Greenland. The Ilulissat Ice Fjord is a breathtaking natural wonder, filled with massive icebergs that break off from the Cermak Glacier, one of the fastest moving glaciers in the world. If you're lucky, you might even hear the ice cracking and crashing into the water. Dog sledding. Dog sledding is not just a fun activity. It's one of the only ways to effectively get around in Greenland. Hop onto a sled pulled by the Greenlandic huskies, which are strong, hard-working dogs bred perfectly for the Arctic conditions. Visit a traditional Inuit settlement. Greenland is home to small, colourful Inuit villages like Uummannaq and Tasiilaq, where you can experience the traditional Kalaalleq way of life. Learn how the Inuit have adapted to living in the Arctic for thousands of years. Whale watching. Greenland's waters are teeming with whales, especially in the summer months. You can spot humpbacks, minke whales and even the enormous blue whale. Whale watching tours are a fantastic way to see these gentle giants in their natural habitat. Hike the Arctic tundra. During the summer, Greenland's tundra transforms into a colourful landscape of wildflowers, mosses and lichen. Hiking trails in areas like South Greenland or the Arctic Circle Trail take you through rugged mountains, valleys and fjords where you'll see animals like muskox and Arctic hares. Greenland is an extraordinary land of ice, adventure and culture. Whether you're hiking through its breathtaking landscapes, spotting a polar bear or kayaking its ice-filled sea, there's no frozen place quite like it. Well, sadly that's all we've got time for today. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up below and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to check out our website for fun activity packs on all our geography topics. So we'll see you next time for another worldly adventure. Psst, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Hello adventurers! Welcome to our Kids Guide to Eritrea. Eritrea is located on Africa's northeast coast. It borders the Great Red Sea of the countries of Sudan, Ethiopia and Djibouti. It has a population of over 6.3 million people and the main language is Tigrinya. When visiting the capital of Asmara, you'll buy everything using the Eritrean nakfa. Eritrea has a rich culture with many different ethnic groups. From the Tigray, who live in the southern highlands, to the Tigray, who live in the western lowlands. Did you know the capital city, Asmara, is sometimes nicknamed Little Rome? You see, Italy used to own Eritrea, and now it's left with lots of amazing Italian-style cafes and buildings. Some say they have the best Italian food outside of Italy. Let's take a look at my top 5 things to do in Eritrea. Ride the iconic Eritrea steam train, viewing some incredible sights from some incredible heights. In the east is the Red Sea and the beautiful Dahlak archipelago, where you can snorkel its incredible coral reefs. Visit Filfil, Eritrea's vast green rainforest, where you can see lots of amazing wildlife like furvet monkeys. Want to do your bit for the environment? Head to Medabar Market, where they sell only recycled products, including sandals made from old tyres. Then travel on to the bustling camel market in Karen, Eritrea's second largest city. What an amazing country Eritrea looks, and I do need some new sandals. Sadly, that's all we've got time for today, but don't forget to head over to our fantastic website to discover more about the world. Also, check out our shop. Buy yourself a map and journal for your next adventure. We'll see you next time for another worldly adventure.